All right, so it's a bit of a muggy day here in Pennsylvania. It's 43 degrees Fahrenheit or 6 degrees Celsius, I believe. So a little overcasty and cloudy, but I figured it's 7 days away from Christmas, hence the Christmas hat here today. So let's go inside and work on something a little festive, if you will. All right, so today we're working on something a little bit different. So I was recently at one of the big box craft stores and came across this little truck here. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, this would make a great little bonsai for the classic red pickup truck with a Christmas tree in the back. And the tree that I thought would work well with this is one of my Eastern Red Cedars, which is kind of small. It's still maybe just a year old, if that. So these pop up in my backyard almost like weeds. So for me to actually get a tree in the back of this truck, it was a solid truck. So I actually drilled a hole through the back on an angle so that the tree would look like it's just kind of chilling in the back. So I drilled a hole through it, and it's about maybe almost an inch in diameter, maybe a little bit less. So this will definitely be a small tree, and maybe over the years I'll actually even swap out the tree. But as of right now, we got a long ways to go, so we'll deal with that one one bit at a time. All right, so let's get this one going. So looking at this tree, I'm actually debating whether I want to use this bigger tree right here, this bigger Eastern Red Cedar, or this smaller one. And I think I'm going to use this bigger one actually, and then maybe trim it down a bit, or maybe keep it. It doesn't really matter. Maybe this one. So after I saw the truck, I was like, this might actually make a good Penjing. And I was thinking, what if I made it like some type of roadside Christmas tree stand? So if I had like this barn looking type thing with the truck right outside, maybe a couple trees out there. So let me show you what I whipped up. I made a little design on my computer, so let me bring that out now. All right, so here are the plans that I used. I have the back wall, the roof, the floor, and the two sides with some various poles, if you will. So there's that, and I pre-cut some wood using the shapes here. So there's the sides roughly, and I actually made these a little bit smaller than I initially wanted. There's some poles here, and there's the 3 poles. Here's the floor here, the roof, and the roof is right here, another back wall. And these are just some extra pieces. So let's start putting this together. And I'm going to use Gorilla Glue to glue this together. I was thinking about using nails, but I don't want to split the wood because it's like this fiberboard type of material. I don't know exactly what this material is called, but it's almost like plywood, but like not quite. But I'm going to use Gorilla Glue. Will it last all year? I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm going to have it outside, so maybe it won't, but I could always touch it up and have a version 2.0 eventually. So I think the first thing I want to do is glue the bottom to the back. So let's try this. All right, that looks pretty even. I kind of don't know what I'm doing here. But we're having fun. So I'm gonna let this dry for a bit. All right, it's about 45 minutes later, so let's take this off and see if it's dry, and it seems to be dry-ish. I think that's fine. That's a little sticky still, but I'm sure it's okay for now for what we need. All right. That looks straight-ish. I think that'll do. So we'll dab a little bit of glue at the bottom of each of these three and then go from there. There we go. I just kind of eyeballed the center of this one here. So now we'll let this dry again. All right, and I just put the roof on this as well. So this one's a little bit lopsided down here, but that's okay. It adds to the charm of it, of a little farm stand. And we're not quite connected up here, but I can probably fill that in with maybe some more Gorilla Glue or putty or something. All right, and here is the car for scale. So that's looking pretty dang good, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, stepping ahead a few days, I worked on this off camera a little bit, and here is where it's at. So you have the roof right here, the two sides. We have some of these little poles here. So yeah, it's not too bad. There's a couple gaps in it, but it's all right. I added this sign up here, so I'm gonna add a, Christmas tree, maybe like fresh cut Christmas trees up here. But yeah, next step on this is I want to paint it. So I'm going to do the roof green, all this down here red, and I'm thinking this is going to be white. So let's do this. All right, so let's do this. We'll start with the red coat first. All right, I think that will do. So we'll let this dry and then we'll work on the green roof and the white sign and maybe do another layer of red paint. So let's just set this down and let this dry for a while. All right, I think we're gonna try the green paint now, and this will be for the roof. So let's do this. All right, there we go. So there's a little bit of mistakes on here. I see a little bit of green on where there should be red, but that's not a big deal. We'll get there. So we'll let this dry, and then we will work on the white sign back there. All right, let's let this dry. All right, this is all dry now. So let's do the white. Let's do the white board on here now. All right, and we got our white sign all painted up. So I think I just need to do some touch up on some of the trim here. And then I just have to write on the sign here. All right, and we will let this one dry now. So I mixed in a little bit of the white paint to this green to kind of give it more of a wash and not just a exact green. So I'm just going to paint this and then take a little bit off to kind of give it a little bit more of a distressed look, and hopefully that'll give it more of an aged look. And then we'll do the same with the red. We'll add a little bit of white to it to make it a brighter white, and hopefully it won't look just exactly like one solid color red. All right, we'll go with that for now. Did it work? I'm not too sure, but we tried something. All right, let's let this dry and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so this is pretty much dry now. I'm sure I'll do a little touch up on the bottom because there's a couple little spots that I want to fix, but for the most part, it's there. So what I want to do now is I want to fill this section with the text that I have in mind. And for that, I made these little Christmas tree signs. So what I want to do is, I didn't know exactly how big I want the font and the Christmas trees and all this stuff that's going on there to be. So I printed out these examples, and I'm going to see which one I think will work best. This bottom one I think is a little bit too big. This one might be too small. I think that is the one that we want, the middle one. This one at the very top is way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to Mod Podge it onto the back of the sign here. All right, I'm just going to roughly cut this out. Now that should match pretty well with the white. I think it'll be okay. So that crease right there is going to help guide me, hopefully, to make a nice clean cut. That should work. Cool. So let's get some Mod Podge and glue that on. All right, so we got our Mod Podge. So let's put this on. All right, so we'll let this dry and then we'll come back. All right, so I am happy with that. It blends in pretty well. Not too bad. So we got our Christmas tree farm stand right here. We got our truck right here. So next up, let's get a tree in there with a couple trees in the background. All right, so the pot I'm going to use is this plastic pot here. So this was actually a tray that was for a larger pot, but I drilled some holes in it and put some little feet on the bottom here, and it's gonna be its own little pot. So we'll use this as the base for our Christmas tree Penjing. So let's do this. So let's start to plot this out a little bit. So I'm thinking if we have the Christmas tree stand maybe somewhere here, we have that about right here, and I'm thinking a tree goes in the center right here through the truck. I have this one, so there's that Eastern Red Cedar there. I have another Eastern Red Cedar here. I have this little spruce that I'm thinking about putting over here somewhere, along with this one maybe over here. Although I was debating putting this tree inside there. And I do have this Eastern Red Cedar I could put back here maybe. Maybe this is the one that I put in the back of the truck. Now all these trees are pretty small, so this is just the infancy of this Penjing here. I'm thinking this one I'm going to put inside the truck. These two will be back there. So maybe a tree back here, even up a little bit. Let me put some soil in here and maybe we can get a better idea of how we can shift things around. All right, so let's put our drainage screens on here. And let's start throwing some soil in here. All right, let's get this one out here. Now, I'm not going to do any root pruning or anything. I'm just going to take this out and slip it right into the truck. So let's see, is it better to go this way? Maybe. Go, it's starting to come through. There it is. There it is. Oh man, that's exciting. Set that down. I think we need a little bit more soil. Now that I think about it, I actually want the car to be facing this way. Okay, looks like the car's in the soil there. This big one, I think, can go back in the back. Whoa. Let me switch my view here. All right, I think I need to bring this up a little bit. And then this one goes in the back here. There's a peanut in there. That's weird. Must have been a squirrel or something hiding his peanuts. That's fun. You can tell that tree has been outside. And let me come around over here to kind of manipulate that. So I'm kind of just feeling this one out. I didn't have a huge plan on how I was going to arrange these trees. So I'm semi-winging it on this one. Had a rough idea, but kind of want to shape as I go. And I'm wondering if this little one in the back, I can actually even put like up here somewhere. This little pine tree that maybe I'll just even decorate with right here. It's not adding much at all, but at least it'll be in the soil. This is kind of complicated. Whoa. Oh boy. Fun times. Actually, I'm wondering if I should put this like right here. Actually, I think I'm going to take this out. I don't think it really adds much of the composition. I might have to put some type of rock or something under this, so because this is pretty light, I don't want it to blow away. Give it a little bit of weight. I wonder if I shift this over to the left over here a little bit and then put this tree right here maybe. Let's try that. Do this over here, roughly right there. It's got a little bit of a curve to it. I'm actually wondering if this one were to go over here instead. And this one right here. I think this one needs to go over this way a little bit more. I think another tree in the back would look cool, but I don't have anything at the moment that I can fill that in with, so I'm wondering if this even should go. No, I think I need something there. I think that needs to shift back even more. This can come down a little bit. All right, and I think I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It's looking pretty dang good. I like the positioning of all the trees. I feel like it could use one more tree right behind the house, but I don't have anything at the moment, so maybe something will pop out of the ground this year and I'll replace that. I think my favorite feature of this whole thing is the tree that is inside the truck here. So we got our classic red pickup truck with a Christmas tree in the back, but this Christmas tree is alive. So that is Super cool. So some of the fun little details on this sign here, cut and carry, farm fresh Christmas trees, open Thanksgiving through Christmas. And then since 1986, that's the year I was born, so why not? I'm really happy with this sign as well. But this is just the beginning for this little penjing here. I'm sure it will change and evolve over the years. I may, off camera, just coat the whole building with some Mod Podge so that it's sealed and is at least semi-weather, resistant. I think this thing's going to have some issues in the future being wood, but who knows, maybe it'll be okay. But I'm going to seal the whole thing with some Mod Podge. So yeah, this thing is all wrapped up just in time for Christmas. It is actually Christmas Eve today, so to all that celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and yeah, we'll see how this thing grows in the future. I'm very excited to see how this thing will evolve. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.